one of the main lessons that I am trying to teach my kids now, and then that is that uh, I guess I'll give you a little bit of a backstory if that's okay with
Please.
you. And My dad, like as you know, he was an engineer, traveled all over the world and whatnot, and super healthy all the way till like in his 80s and whatnot, and then he developed this incurable form of lymphoma, right? So he's in the hospital one day, and I go to visit him, and I walk in, and he shows me a picture of a sailor, right? It's, actually, and he goes, "Do you know who this is?" And I said, "No, I don't." And he goes on to tell me, so he's the son of one of his distant cousins in India. And I said, I don't know why this man is showing me this, at this stage of the game, with this disease and everything like that. He goes and he tells me the story that his distant cousin in India was born with a disability, and her parents died early, and then the family that she was staying with wound up kicking her out, and she became almost homeless. And she had reached out to my dad, many many years ago, and said, "Look, they've kicked me out. I'm more or less homeless. Is there anything you could do for me?" And my dad, being an engineer, not making a lot of money or anything like that, he said, "Look, for as long as I live, you'll never have to beg." Okay. And he never told us about it. He never let us know. And so he's telling me the story in this last week before he passed away. And he goes, "I never told you guys because," he goes, "I did not want you guys to think that I was taking money away from our family to support somebody, but I needed to do this." And so he paid for her education, and so got shelter. He paid for her education. She got educated. She started working. She found another handicapped person, got married. He paid for the marriage. He had a child. He paid for the education. And then this child, their son, becomes this sailor, and he starts working for the Indian Marines, and then now is an officer, and now they're like the family's doing like really well. And he's showing me this, and then he goes, "Kavin, you're a good doctor, and you're a good father, And he goes, but he goes, the greatest gift you have is the ability to give. And he goes, because in order to give, you have to have more to be able to give. But your greatest gift is the ability to give." And he goes, in your life, you'll come across situations where in people's lives, everybody walks out of the room. But he goes, "I want you to be the guy that walks in when everybody walks out." He goes, "Can you be that person?" And Kendall, I heard that, and I'm like, I've been talking to my dad, and I'm like, as he's telling me the story, I'm like sinking to the ground. And then by the time he finishes, I'm like sitting on the ground because it just humbled me because, made me look at my life and say, wow, have I truly given? Did I ever give without ever expecting, like my dad supporting this woman? He never wanted anything in return. He just wanted to do that, just wanted to give. And it made me really look at my life, and I said, that's got to be the greatest lesson greatest paradigm to live by, is that to be a type of person where you could give without expecting anything in return, and be the guy that walks in where everybody else walks out. Yeah. And so what I would say is that is what I try to teach my kids. I said, above all of this, above being a high performer, above being anti-aging and everything like that we talked about. I said, this element, unless you have this, and that's at the core of who you are, because it will revolutionize the rest of your life, right? The joy you get from being valuable, right? And then that value only you know. It's not like you're putting up a sign and saying, "Hey, look at me, I'm such a great giver." No. I'm saying you do it because you, at the core of your core, feel so good. It'll revolutionize your life.